The poem begins by Diop recollecting about Africa, a land he has not seen but only heard about from his grandmother's songs. His choice of words like distant symbolizes how far he is from his country, a feeling based on his real life as he lived in France throughout his childhood and only visited Africa in the 1950s. Despite this, he paints a vivid scene of Africa and the proud warriors who walk on its ancestral savannas. You can sense how much he misses his homeland by his stress on the word Africa, and he continues to call it my Africa to stress it is his land and his feelings of patriotism towards it. He continues to say that he has never known Africa, but despite the distance, he cannot disagree with how much it is a part of him. The beautiful black blood which flows in his veins describes his African descent and shows how much Africa is a part of him and his love for it and its people. He stresses that it is the blood and sweat of his people which is irrigating the fields for the benefit of other people. By this, he is pointing a finger at the colonialists who exploited black people and used them as slaves to extract profits from their hard labor. He urges the black people to stand up to the pain and the humiliation that they are suffering in their own land. He reminds them of the strength and pride they have in them and to say no to the whip of the colonialist which makes them work under the hot midday sun and leaves scars on their backs. Despite this suffering, he urges them to be strong and remain unbent and not let this break them despite the weight of their suffering. The wise voice of Africa chides him for thinking impetuous thoughts and implies to us that the continent lies in wait for something to happen. It urges the Africans to be patient and not to be hasty like children as there is change in the horizon. The tree, young and strong, represents the young people of Africa who are patiently but obstinately waiting until they get the liberty they want. At the moment, the tree is alone, meaning the African struggle is a lonely battle, but they will achieve the freedom and liberty they want, no matter how bitter the taste is. By the white and faded flowers, he means the colonialists who will fade in time. The youthful Africans will grow in strength and wait for their moment of freedom. David Diop's Africa celebrates the typical love of the African for their motherland and the ancestors. The poet speaks of deeds with proud warriors in ancestral savannas, the Africa of whom his grandmother sings. It is not to live with the present but also with the past. Thus, the love is not something infected but transmitted in the blood and can never be evaporated till death. The greatest irony is that though he has never seen his ancestors, their blood flows in his veins and thereby he can feel their love for his country and their adoration of tradition. It is their black blood that irrigates the fields. The poet attacks the world's theory that Africa does not possess a history. It is a kind of history that the colonizers refuse to acknowledge. It involves the blood of their sweat, the sweat of their work and the work of their slavery. It is not any slavery, but the slavery of the children of Africa. And thus Africa's back is bent in misery and humiliation, preferring to break than bend. The back, trembling with scars, has its wounds afresh and raw. Never did the sentiments of the natives submit so indifferently to oppression of the colonizers. They are still pained by the experiences and continues to be so. However, a ray of hope appears in the form of a grave voice. It may symbolize the ancestors or some African god. It ascertains to the impetuous sun that the tree still stands there young and strong and is capable of spreading its branches and reaching out to new horizons. The poem Africa reflects the poet's vision of an independent and sovereign Africa. Diop was strongly critical of Europe. The glorious pre-colonial Africa is no longer the present Africa. The lingering memories of loss, slavery, humiliation makes the present freedom taste bitter. Post-colonial Africa is an Africa of a different kind. Colonialism may end, but the bitter memories linger forever. This is a poem in which Diop, by the power of his imagination, calls forth three stages in the continent of Africa's history. 1. Pre-colonial days of proud warrior tribes. 2. The colonial experience of subjugation and humiliation. And 3. The post-colonial freedom and sovereignty. The first 7 lines present an essentially idealized image of Africa with which the speaker identifies, and then follows a realistic picture of Africa's experience of bitterness, despair, and mockery under colonial rule. The last 8 lines present a future of hope built on some of the realistic element of colonial experience. Africa as a young tree patiently springing up and gradually acquiring, quote-unquote, the bitter taste of liberty. In David Diop's poem Africa, the poet hopes to create a renewed Africa out of the bitter experiences of colonialism. The poem is post-colonial as it gives the understanding that the effects of colonialism will continue to haunt even after the disappearance of colonialism. The poet's preoccupation with the past glories is also suggestive of its post-colonial nature.